Hey guys, right, round 2 of the little RM. So today we are hoping to get the engine in place. So what I've got to do first, as you see in the last end of the video, we got it all stripped down. Got to get these little lugs off from the old Crossmember there, because the old Crossmember sort of come out, then went across, then back in. The reason for that is the little airbox there, but the airbox is not going back on it. I've not read the comments yet because I'm useless, but Paul's read some of the comments, and a guy mentioned, will the back wheel hit that Crossmember? Only in an accident. So yeah, if you look, the Crossmember's coming straight across off here, so we've got all that space. So yeah, that is totally impossible, because the airbox actually sat here. So yeah, we have got all that free space, so nothing's going to collide. We're all good there. So anyway, that's going to be the first job. Get these off, tidy it up, and we've got a bit of tube here for the Crossmember, and then we can probably get the engine back in, rest it in place, start blocking it all up, and start working out the brackets. First I'm going to try and get it back a little bit more with a cutter. That one ain't too bad, I'll dress that back, but this one's still got a bit of a stump there, so I'll see if I can get a bit more off it. Moving on, we now sort of have a blank canvas. All the old brackets are off, all the old tube work's off, everything's cleaned up, and we are ready now to place the engine back in. And what we think we've got to do, because obviously the engine's quite large for such a small frame, we think one side of the brackets, we're going to have to make them so they bolt on and off, to be able to slide the engine in from the side, then bolt all the brackets on, and then that'll allow us to get the engine in and out if need be. So that is the next step. Okay, moving on a little bit, we've got the engine back in, and we've got to sort of have a bit of a mess about now, getting it into a position that we're happy with. So what we've done, I've got the inner tube out the sack truck, so it's only a little sort of sack truck wheelbarrow size inner tube, and we're going to slowly pump it up, which will help us basically bring the engine up and position it, sort of fine tune it really, because we can put the amount of air in we need. So Paul's pumping it up now, and then that'll bring the engine up, and then we've just got to joggle it around on that inner tube, and it'll sit nice in there, and that should help us. Like I say, with that idea, little tiny bits of air, it might seem a stupid idea, but it really does help. Little bits of air, and like, we can slowly get that engine, let a bit of air out, I'll put it in, and so on, to get it sitting where we want. Very, very basic way of doing things, but
it works.
That's how we roll in here. Right, now we've got a bit more control over the engine with the inner tube. We've discovered, I say, that's sitting there nice in that inner tube. It's, you know, it behaves itself. You can move it around. Wherever you move it, it stays put. So we discovered we need a little bit more off this gusset here, because we've got to come this way a tiny bit. So yeah, a bit of a scallop out here now for the engine to clear, and we'll be sorted. that sort of roughed out. That might allow us to bring the engine over this way a little bit. Obviously all these little things that we're doing are subject to change as we go along. This is just getting the basics ready to get the engine planted exactly where we want it. So yeah, things will chop and change as we go along, but obviously the final bit, everything will be all nice and tidy and sort of look to close as original as we can get it. So if you looked at this bike, you wouldn't bat an eyelid sort of thing, and you know, only the trained eye would know something funny is going on. That's the plan. Right, we've sort of back in place. Get a bit of wind on there. And slowly does it. How are we looking?
Yeah, no, a little bit more. Yeah, leave it there. I think we ain't a zillion miles away.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, just a touch more, just
a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, good at that.
We can have a mess about with it at that.
Yeah.
Right, there we go, you see. So it sort of helps you. So the inner tube sort of moulds itself to the engine and helps us sort of have a bit more control over it when we're moving it about. Right, so we're getting close. That little bit will be scalloped out now. Look, that's working out really good. And we've got this bar. We've made sure the back wheel's all nice and straight. So we've got this bar clamped to the rear sprocket here, so we get a good alignment with the front sprocket. And then it's just a case of just checking everything really, and then getting some measurements of brackets and cross members and.
I ain't bad, mate. We've got room for the spark plug, and I think the exhaust is.
Yeah, it's going well.
We might come over just to touch it up front once we've fiddled, but it ain't much.
Yeah, it's getting there. It's getting close. Right, just sorting the tube out for the cross member now. So I've got what I call fish mouth it a little bit to drop round the other tube as best as we can. So I'm just basically shaving that off. I've got to take a bit more out now because one part of it's got to wrap around the tube, the other part goes onto a gusset on the frame. Yeah, so basically I've just got to hack away at it till it drops in basically. One tack, the first tack. This is where you've got to be careful you don't pop your inner tube. This is the only downside to it. But so far so good. Right, that's the first bit in. Just got to tack the other side down. That's all nice and level. Well, it needs knocking up now. Forget you've seen that. Just needs knocking up on the one side. But we're good. So I'm going to get that level, get the tack on the other side, then we can start making brackets. Right, I've got that level again now, so a spatter ramp to keep my spatter off the inner tube. Put that down there like that. And it might, so no, that's not working. Hold on. Maybe that, just yeah, that's it.
That'll work.
That'll work. Stops me spatter going down there and popping the tube. Okay, now we got that tacked into place. I'm just going to do some little lugs here now that come off this tube and go to the engine. We've just been having a discussion whether we can do both of these fixed. We're going to try it. So cut the two, tack them both on, because we think we've a removable bracket on this side down here, the engine may come forward enough to joggle it out at the back. If not, we can snap it back off and make that also removable. So we're just getting some basic ones cut out now. Drill the holes in, radius the ends, and tack them on. Okay, I've just slit into them a little bit with the grinder. What I'm going to do first, before I completely part them off there, is do a little radius, because it has got to wrap around the tube a little bit to give us a good welding point so they're nice and strong. Like that, something like that. I'll put the grinder somewhere. Well, there it is. So we'll just cut into them. I know for the observant people out there, they're going to ask, why didn't you start that from the edge? That edge is wonky, so I'm cutting inboard a little bit, that's all. Right, just making sure these go round there, like that. And then, where's my other... Make sure from the edge to hole centre, thereabouts. So we can then mark from the edge, like so, to there, get that, and do a bit of a scratchy, and mark the hole centres out, and get them drilled. Right, I've now drilled them out. I just need to radius the ends now, and then we can bolt them to the engine. That'll keep them in fact, no, we're making a little spacer as well. One's going to have a spacer to give us a bit of wiggle room, so when the bolt comes out, the spacer drops out. That'll give us a bit of wiggle room between the two brackets. And that's the beautiful sound of the kettle. This is the beauty of having a little helper.
Tea-boy.
Yeah, tea-boy. Look, yeah. And that a glorious sight.
Yeah.
Hey?
Nearly a 60-year-old tea-boy.
Yeah. Right, yeah, radius them, so basically just draw around something like that. Cut them out, and then we'll give them a go. Okay, the next stage. So I've got these little lugs that we've done. They're all sorted. I know they're exactly the same. And we're going to put this spacer in. So when we unbolt it, the spacer drops out, gives us a bit of wiggle room on the engine. Because I know that's in nice and square. These are exactly the same size. So when we put these on and bolt them up, we know that is now going to hold this engine nice and square. That is the plan. So I think I'll start over that side. I've got a long bolt somewhere there. We can go like that and like that. And then we might have to just move the engine slightly. Hold on, I'll tell you, if I go back like that. Can you get a 13mm socket and we'll wind that in, mate, and it'll level the engine up. Yeah. And that should work out. That's it. Take it all the way in, mate.
Yeah.
And I'll double check everything else before I put some tacks on it. There we go, just nip it and I need to go tight. That'll do. There we go.
So we can come this way a little bit, can't we?
So we can joggle that now, get this level, and we know with all the everything being square and measured the same,
yeah,
it will correct the engine and get it nice and straight. Right, that's all pulled up then. We've just give the engine a little tweak over and we're all good. We're all good there. I'll say that spacer just gives us a bit of wriggle room to be able to get the engine in and out. If it is too much of an issue, we will make one of these so the actual bracket bolts on and off as well. But we're hoping we're going to get away with that. Anyway, I'm going to get a couple of tacks on there. And I think we'll be about done for the day. Okay, that's all tacked in now. So we know the engine's all safe. Only a couple of little tacks on there. It's all holding it in position now, so we can sort of have at it with all the other brackets now. Obviously we've got the ones at the front and we got to do something with a mounting point back here underneath, which I'll probably run another Crossmember across down there to sort of trap that in, and do the same down there as well. We'll space one side out so it'll give us a bit of wiggle room when it's unbolted to be able to sort of get the engine twisted and out. And like I say, if that's not the case, I will make one of these so it bolts on and off as well, just to make life a bit easier. So tomorrow I'm going to get on with all the other brackets, start making them, double checking measurements and everything, making sure it's all continuing to go in the right direction. Yeah, it's been most enjoyable actually. It's good to get back on a bit of metal work, getting the old hands dirty. I'm thoroughly enjoying that, I really am. And it's a nice little warm up for getting the BMW GS back in here as well when this is off the bench, which I'm really looking forward to. Let's show you the Enfield. I said I'd show you the Enfield sat out here. It's still fairly light outside. Looking well outside it is. There we go. Looking good. Yeah, we will have a little start up on that soon. I'll drag it in one evening while it's still a reasonable time and we'll fire that up. Anyway, that'll do. It's I say it's going in the right direction. It may seem a bit of a, I don't know, a bodgy, basic way of laying this engine out and getting the brackets welded onto the frame. Don't get me wrong, if you was probably bolting a 200 horsepower Panigale engine into a lawnmower, you'd probably do a few more measurements and things, and yeah, doing it probably a bit more precise. But for this little bike, the way we're going about it, it's going to be fine. And it's all just about building a bike that's a little bit of fun, and I'm sure it will be. Anyway, that'll do. Like I say, next video we'll continue with brackets, and then everything's sort of got evolved around that, the exhaust pipe and whatever else needs changing to suit where that engine needs to sit, because obviously we've had to put it there. The most important bit was chain alignment, which we've got all sorted. Anyway, that'll do. Cheers for watching, guys. Take care.